No Broad, no Prestia, no Hopper, no Gibkiss, no Tyler Young. As the great Alan Jeans once said, with great crisis creates opportunity. And I think that is the best way to summarize what is happening right now, the best way to look at it, the best approach to take, because it's super easy to just get real negative and just assume we're no shot. I mean, I'm sure halftime of last week's game with Prestia, Gibkiss, and Young all going out early against the Blues, you would have thought we weren't a chance yet. With 30 seconds to go, we were a kick away from winning it all. So I don't want to get too negative about it. It's really easy to. It's super easy to fall into that trap, and I'm very guilty of doing that. So I'm doing my best to avoid it just from a personal standpoint, and hopefully, it transcends to you guys as well. So obviously, a massive game, the Ivan Soto Cup. We take on Port Adelaide at the G Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. It's weird having those time slots. We've had such a good run of not getting those shitty time slots, and then now here we are. You know what? It's a Sunday. It's a great opportunity to get to the football. Not many people, well, usually people don't have a lot of plans on Sundays. So it's a great opportunity to get out there, get to the game, support the boys. And I'll be doing exactly that. But we'll dive into it. There's a little bit to talk about. I don't want to harp on too much in these preview and review videos I'm going to be doing this year. I want to make them short and sharp, get in, get out. But touch on things that I think are important as well. So we'll start with Port Adelaide because obviously they were coming off a good win last week against the Eagles, I know, but they did play well. And I thought West Coast were more competitive than what I've seen them in the past. So, whether you look into that, I'm not too sure, but we'll talk about it a bit. Port Adelaide love to intercept, especially with Alir. He gets very aggressive with his positioning in the back line. And you imagine with Lynch back in our side now, they'll probably try to free him up. So whether they bring Isava Radaglia back, he played as a forward last week, I believe, but whether they put him in the back line just to free Lear up to try and get that intercept game going that they love doing with him, I think that'll be a big watch. Last week, Port had 25 marks inside 50, and their ability to control the air was phenomenal. And that's something we're really going to need to monitor throughout the game. 25 marks inside 50, they're all shots at goal. 9 times out of 10, that's a shot on goal. So that's something we're really going to have to keep a close eye on. And Ivan Soldo was a key cog in this. I thought he had quite a good game last week. He kicked two, he played in the ruck, he went forward, did his job when he was down there. So, it seems weird now saying we're going to have to, watch out for Ivan Soldo, but I think we're genuinely going to have to because they've got a lot of big men Port. And we know that Ivan can throw his weight around a little bit. But I'm glad to see he's taking his opportunity at Port as well. Obviously, it's early days and a lot can happen, but I never begrudge a player for leaving for more opportunity, and that's what Ivan's done. So, kudos to him. Last week, Port took 121 marks and well plus 59 in uncontested possessions. We can't allow them to have easy football. I think last week against the Blues, we did a really good job at matching them in the midfield and even beating him in clearances and stoppages, and we did really well on that point of view. But then they started to use that transition game, the more of the outside game, and we couldn't cover. And they had a lot of really easy possessions, and it hurt us. It starts to chop us up a little bit. So we really can't allow that. We need to have strong pressure. And I know that that was such a key cog in our game for a long time, but it's probably dwindled a little bit, and we're going to rely on everybody to apply that pressure. Nank was outstanding last week in this front, on this front. So hopefully he can back it up and inspire the rest of the boys as well, because we're going to need that to stop them from having all that outside uncontested footy. That's what kills you. If they're beating you in the middle, it's disappointing. If they're beating you at the cold face, it's a bit like, wow, well, we got to do something to stop this. But it's a contested situation. There's not always as much you can do. But when they're getting uncontested possession, that's what really hurts because that's avoidable. So let's focus on that. Into some of the players, obviously, we've got the big outs that I mentioned, but we've got some boys coming back in as well to fill those gaps. So we've got Ben Miller, Jimmy Trezise, and Tom Brown all coming in. I'll talk about Benny Miller first because I'm excited for him. He's played 25 games in like 7 years or something like that. He's been on the list. So this is a massive chance for him to grab that opportunity and cement his spot in the team. Obviously, we don't want to see Gibkiss out for the year, but again, crisis provides opportunity. So I hope that Ben Miller can grab this one. I've seen glimpses. I'm excited about what I see when he does play well. So I've got big raps on him. I just hope that he can take this opportunity. And this week's going to be a big test with some of the key forwards that Port Adelaide have. So, he's come in. He's been playing a really good role as that halfback slash intercept role at VFL level. And again, massive opportunity for him to provide that for us now at AFL level. And he's done it before. Like we've seen him play at the level, so he shouldn't be uncomfortable there, which is a good thing. He's not a debutant. He knows what he's doing. So fingers crossed he can do that. Jimmy Trezise, again, he's had his opportunity last year, only the 1 or 2 games. I should have not written that down before I started talking. But again, minimal opportunity last season. Big chance and again for him to cement his spot and find more time at senior level, which is what we want. We're in that transition phase, as we know. And if guys like Jimmy Trezise, and Tom Brown we'll talk about next, if they're getting their opportunities, you want to see him take it by the horns. So, last week he had 16 disposals and 4 marks in the VFL practice game. I think he's ready for an opportunity at this next level. He's a really great user of the football, and I can't wait to see him out there. Tom Brown, again, another good user of the ball. I think we've got a lot of really good users coming through as well, which is exciting because I think sometimes watching us, you just want to scream when you see some of the ball use that goes on. I know, it's their mistakes, but hopefully with this new crop, we see less and less of those coming forward. But Tom Brown last week had 17 disposals, 5 marks, and 4 rebound 50. So again, another one. He's just ready to take his chance. I think it's his time. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. Then we've got the debutante, and geez, it's a story, isn't it? It's like I love great stories in the game and in sport in general. And I think, and geez, don't shoot me if I've mispronounced it, but Makati Lafau to, get picked up only a couple of weeks ago in the preseason supplementary selection period to now making his debut, a month later. Was it a month ago? And maybe not even, I'm not sure. It was really recent, as we know. So massive, massive opportunity for him. I've seen him at VFL level before in the past, and I've always thought this guy's got a big frame. Like, I wonder if, because I never watched him close enough to know if he really had that potential or not. So I'm glad that he did. And he's really taken that next step now. And we'll see what he does at AFL level. He's 195 centimeters. He's the same height as Jack Rewalt, but by the looks of things, a lot more mobile. And he's not necessarily going to be a key forward either. So that's a dangerous weapon to have up your sleeve because, we know what Jack did at his height as a key forward. Imagine what someone who's a bit more nimble and can run around the ground a bit more can do just in general. So it's going to be exciting to see. But we'll talk about the story just briefly for McKelty. He was born in New Zealand. He moved to Melbourne in 2012 and was initially a member of the Melbourne Storm developmental squad. I've got all my notes here, so excuse me for the head turns. But yeah, he was a member of the developmental squad at Melbourne Storm. Obviously, coming from New Zealand, you would assume that rugby was probably his number one sport growing up as a kid. But after shifting his attention to Australian rules football, he kicked 25 goals for St Kilda City in under-19s back in 2016. So let's put that into perspective. 25 goals. Now, there are players that, that are way too good for the level and they might go down and they might kick 10. And, 10 is obviously a lot of goals, but depending on the league, the comp, wherever you're playing, you could be playing well out of your grade and, 10 isn't that far fetched, but 25, that's nuts. So that's going to be awesome. Maybe he will play forward. I'm not sure. I really don't know what their plan is for him at senior level. I'm excited either way. I can't wait to watch him run out there. But yeah, so he's kicked 25 goals at St Kilda City in under-19s. This led him to get a contract at KCVFL in 2017, where he played in the VFL Grand Final that season. And then he became an addition to the Tigers VFL side in 2022, but he ruptured his ACL in round 7 of that season. And I feel like ACL injuries are the talk of the town at the moment. I know this was a couple of years ago, but geez, it stings when you see the developmental side of things taken away from these young players as well. So again, he took the setback. He took it on board. He did everything right to get himself ready to go. He returned to play halfway through last season, and he's just continued to grow ever since, and it shows now with him earning his debut. So, I tip my hat off to you, McKelty. He's done a good power of work to get to where he is today, so I'm excited to watch him run out there. Again, one of the great debut stories of the year, I would imagine. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I didn't want to dwindle too long onto these things. I just wanted to sort of rush through everything a little bit. I've had a lot of messages coming in asking, what my opinion is and how we're going to line up and how I think we're going to go. And look, I just want to see us compete. And, obviously you don't want to lose every week. And, we've got a tough run. So, there's a chance it could be like 0-4, 0-5, whatever it might be. So put that in the back of my mind a little bit. And I just want to see us compete. Like I said it last week after the Carlton game, we lost, disappointed we lost, but excited for the competitiveness that we showed and the drive that we had, even with the injuries that we had, where it would have been really easy just to drop our heads. So, look, I think Uze's putting us in the right direction. I think some of the young players we've got are putting us in the right direction. And I don't know, it might be another couple of years, and I don't want to talk about the future too much, but I think we're definitely headed on the right path. And look, a win this week would be massive for the confidence. So I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. It's always great playing an interstate team at the G because it's a great chance for Richmond fans to get out there and, you know, predominantly bring all the noise. And it's rare that this happens. I'm not expecting 80,000 people there, but I'd love to see 40, 50,000 on a late Sunday afternoon at the G, just yellow and black everywhere. Getting around everyone when goals are kicked because that drives the plays. It really does. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, thank you for watching. It's been a wild ride. And we're only 2 rounds in, so I hate to think what I'll be saying come round 7, round 8, and then round 18, round 19 when we're that far into the season. But it's been crazy already. I've loved every minute of it so far, despite the results. So I hope to see you at the game. If you do spot me walking around, come say good day. We'll have a chat. I know a couple of you have already stopped me, and it's been great to meet everybody. I'm trying to build a little Richmond community here, especially now with this little phase that we're going through. I think it's really important that we do stay positive and stick together and try not to get too down in the dumps because we've obviously just come off an amazing period of time. And I feel like it'd be such a shame to waste all that growth that we've had as supporters and just let it go down the drain because we're having a couple of down years. So, yeah, I'd absolutely love to keep everything going and just keeping the positivity around because it's not going to be too long until we're back where we belong. But thank you again for watching. I'll be back for the Port Adelaide review, hopefully talking about an inspiring win and some great performances from these younger guys as well. So we'll wait and see. Thank you again and go Tigers.